On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
Yo, you a moment.
I feel like
you are not you are not to be nurtured. You are there for a moment, and that is the end of the conversation. And as a matter of fact, yo, I might change my phone number right after. I don't want to kick it. I don't want to talk.
It's hard to change your number, like especially if you had that number for a long time. You don't want to change your number every time.
Like you ain't even got
right. Why she got your number? That's what I was gonna say. But you slipping, Anton. She shouldn't even have your number. That's the problem.
There's a question right here. It says, what if you fall in love with the side chick?
They do. They do.
You a sucker. That's what you are.
Anton, they fall in love with the side chick all the time. That's why it's dangerous.
And you a sucker. And that's what any dude falling in love, that means you emotionally connected. That means you've been spending time. That means that you really nurturing a relationship. Fam, if you don't get on out of here with that.
But people do it.
If you guys are just tuning in, welcome to Lapeef, Let's Talk. We're moving on to our third topic, which is, do men and women cheat for the same reasons? Do men and women cheat for the same reasons? Anton.
I don't think so. I think that men, most of the time, they cheat. I think men cheat. Most men, and obviously you can't put everybody in a box, but I think the overwhelming majority of men that cheat because out of convenience. Like it's not something that they're looking to do. I think that dudes get caught up and then wind up start having whole side chicks and things like that. But most of the situations that I've ever heard of dudes moving a specific type of way is because it was just an opportunity that they took advantage of. But it's nothing more than that. Like it's nothing more than whatever it is that they did versus women. I find that they cheat either out of revenge or out of emotion. And so I don't know any woman personally, and I've had some of these talks extensively. I don't know women personally that literally separate the revenge part, right? I don't know women that could just cheat because out of sport. Like I don't know women that just like they in a really deep committed relationship or marriage and then a dude walk up to him and then that's just the end of the conversation and it's on. Like I don't know women that do that. I know women are generally very calculated and they have a purpose behind why they do things versus it just being something to do. So either revenge or emotion. But for guys, I know that it's guys that can just rock out just because that's just what they was feeling at the time, or maybe they was thinking with their other head and it was just the thing to do and they really have no attachment to that specific woman and it just happened and it's over. So I think that men and women absolutely cheat for different reasons and it shows in how they move when they do it.
Hey, Anton, do you feel as though women cheat because they're not happy within a relationship? I know you mentioned revenge. Go ahead.
I don't think it's because they're not happy. I just think that there's other things that they can emotionally connect to. Like it may be a moment because happiness is a wide-reaching net, right? They can be happy with their situation, but not necessarily be happy with the attention that they get. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they can separate the two and that can drive a specific thing. Obviously, revenge is a whole nother conversation, but I think that women are not necessarily they'll say happiness and use that as the excuse or the platform by which they create the narrative as to why they did what they did. Oh, I wasn't happy. Oh, you wasn't spending enough time, so I was in a different type of space or whatever that is. But I don't think happiness as a blanket statement is an accurate representation of why they do what they do.
Yeah. I think men don't have that emotional connection. I do agree with you. I think men just cheat because either it's an opportunity or they can. Sometimes I feel as though women do allow men to cheat, and when I say that, meaning that they create the space and the opportunity for them to be able to move like that. You don't agree, Tawana?
How can somebody create a space for you to cheat? Like your values and morality is what creates a space for you to cheat. If you if you feel like that's your character and that's what you do, like you're open to that. I just don't believe that you can blame that on somebody. That's your choice. I mean, I agree with both of you guys to a certain extent. I mean, but I do think that, you know, there are similarities in the reasons why people cheat in general, in relationships. And I do think that, yeah, that they're rooted in, you know, fundamentally who women are and who men are, right? And our need to be emotionally tied to someone, and men who, you know, can walk away without any emotional tie at all. That is just kind of what happens as a result of cheating. But the reasons why we cheat, to me, are similar, in that, like, men feel bored in their relationship. They feel, you know, they want more options. They, you know, they feel, you know, there's a lot of different reasons why men cheat, and then women cheat for the same thing. I mean, and performance reasons are huge on both sides. Sometimes women aren't performing, you know, the way men want them to perform. And then, you know, men don't perform enough for women. So sometimes women cheat for that reasons. I think as a result, they may end up having some sort of emotional connection to the person that they're cheating with, which, you know, may then impact their current relationship.
Who are you referring to? Women?
Women, yeah,
okay.
Women can sometimes. Now, there's some women out here that can desensitize and separate just as easily. But for the most part, what I see is that sometimes women will have that emotional tie, right, to the person. And but I do see that there's similar reasons why people cheat in general, men and women. And I think it's consistent, and that it's some issues within, you know, the relationship, and they feel like, you know, they want to escape that. And that is the reason why essentially you see people going out. And especially when you get older, I mean, it's not just about, oh, it's an opportunity. Sometimes it's really about, like, man, I'm just not really fulfilled in this situation anymore. And I'm curious as to if somebody else out there can do it for me.
I know that cheat out of sport. It ain't got nothing to do with home.
Yeah. No, I do think that happens as well. I mean, I'm not discounting those people who just have character flaws and just cheat for absolutely no reason and always will be a cheater. Of course, that happens. I mean, but I'm just saying that I think that a lot of the reasons are similar, and the root of it is similar. And it's not exact, obviously, because everybody has their own individual reasons for cheating. But yeah, if I was to just what I've observed and what I see, it can be very, very similar reasons why men and women cheat.
I want to ask you guys, do you feel as though the upbringing of men and women has an impact on whether they cheat or not?
You can go ahead, Tawana.
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of I had one male friend who his father like had a whole like another family, and he grew up knowing that like behind his mother's back, right? He knew about the second family, he knew about his siblings and things like that. So he was like,
what?
Going from, you know, and he didn't tell his mother, you know, he didn't tell her, and she had no idea. But the father, he never lived with his mother either, you know, so he was always able to kind of move in and out of people's homes. So I guess, JR, if you're saying in that perspective where, you know, women kind of give you a a platform to cheat, you know, I guess that's it, right? Because, you know, you really can't tell a man to, you know, you can't tell him not to go nowhere. He don't live with you. He can go wherever he want to go. So I think that he saw that, and then he grew up and he thought it was kind of normal. Like he kind of had a side chick, you know, the whole time that he was in a relationship. It was like something that he just was taught to do. He just didn't, you know. And I mean, I don't think that was the only reason, but I do think that impacted his decision. He was just kind of like, I mean, every dude, and in his mind, every man had a side chick. That's what he used to tell me. Like, you know, every man like your husband gonna have a chick on the side. Like, you need to be prepared for that. And he used to tell me that all the time. And I think that he really honestly thought that because that was his experience growing up. and that's what he saw. His uncles, that's what he saw in his life, and that's what he also recreated. So I agree that has some impact for sure.
So has he changed? Are you still currently?
No, he don't. He haven't changed.
He hasn't changed, still the same way.
No, he still got her and they both years in. He still got them both, and I don't think he's gonna let them go either.
And so, same question: does the upbringing of the man or the woman has an impact on whether they cheat or not?
Yeah, I can't necessarily speak for women. I don't really know about whether or not they're. I mean, I would assume so, but I know for men specifically, like character has always been a huge portion of, a lot of even my family. So like, my dad was one of the most stand-up dudes that I've ever seen in my life, and that influenced everything that I do in my life. Like anything that I do, I first evaluate how it's going to impact the different things that I'm doing or what I got going on. And that's influenced by specifically him. So yeah, I do think that I know it impacts men specifically. I'm not really sure how it impacts women, but I do think that the things that you see growing up does play a huge role in how you move. So yeah, I do think that it influences men.
I definitely think it impacts women the same, because if you see your mother with multiple men, or you see women around you do that, then more than likely that's something that you will learn. And I'm not saying that if a woman is like that, she learned it from her mother, because sometimes it's other outside influences, friends and everything else that, can cause that. But absolutely, if you witness, aunties, cousins, you witness that, it's probably gonna have an impact on you in your life for sure.
Hey, B Nix, you all right? I ain't know if you was in the back in another room stomping around and all of that because you was bothered by some of the
hitting the beanie bag.
Yeah, like throwing stuff and all that.
Throwing that stuff.
You wasn't in there.
No, I wasn't. Actually, I don't know like how like this narrative created that I'm emotional, that I'm really not. But
well, Anton created
the story that we're going.
He created that, and it's so many people. It's so many people that listen to him. They listen to everything he say.
Well, it's funny because the thing is, I've sat up here and said I don't like holding hands. I don't like crying. I don't like all this shit. But yet I'm the emotional person. That's the part. It's just funny how like the story is flipped.
Like,
you're not emotional.
You're gonna build you back up and then break you back down. It's beautiful.
No, I just like people to know how I feel about some shit. I do. I like people when I talk from a very passionate.
To make you feel better, I'll have my daughter put the green boxes up. Okay.
Nah, man, we don't got no green boxes here.
Hey, Nick, staying on topic. Do men and women cheat for the same reasons?
Say that again.
Do men and women cheat for the same reasons?
I don't think so. I think men look at it like I'm gonna say like it's transactional. Like, hey, I want more. I agree. I'm gonna cheat because the opportunity is there. I'm gonna seize the moment. I think with women, something aspect of wanting this level of connectedness of filling a void, something that's not happening with the current person, that I'm seeking this level of fulfillment. Hey, low key, I feel like guys also run game this way too, by saying like, hey, like, man, I want to kick it with you. Are you the one I really want to do a situation right now? Nah, like you and all. Yeah, so guys play on that.
Be a savage before you know it, huh?
Yeah, the mental aspect of one of the a guy cheat based on just the opportunity. It's almost like how like every dude talk about they got a bad chick. Everybody wants a bad chick. Don't get me wrong, or a bad woman. I'm sorry, not trying to disrespect nobody, but the thing is, it's one of those like, hey, quiet as kept. Anything that's moving, hey, a guy is going to try to see.
So y'all think that men don't cheat because they're not being sexually satisfied in their relationship?
I don't think it's that. I think they are being.
No, I'm saying. So you're saying that no man cheat for that reason?
I can't say for no man. I think the overwhelming majority of the guys, that is not the driving factor at all. Not even a little
And
bit.
you guys don't think that
It's all ego and opportunity.
a man in a relationship where the woman, maybe she nagging all the time, she always on his case, she never got nothing positive to say. Like he doesn't find a woman who maybe, she may approach him a little softer, a little nicer. He might not find that more attractive, and those reasons. So you only think that it's only because of opportunity?
I don't think I lead with that. I think over the course of time is like cheating, and then becomes this affair where it's like a recurring thing. Where then you beyond just the booty is like, hey, I just want to like spending time with you or something like that. But that's over the course of just going back again. But I think leading with is just opportunity is there. A woman provides access to you, so it's like, hey, I'm gonna take full advantage. And I think at that moment, it's at the stance: do I cheat or do not cheat? I think it's just that simple. Yeah. I think it's a mental aspect to it that a guy has to know. Hey, am I willing to cheat?
Well, that's the difference, because women, we definitely. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Women, we definitely have a reason. There's just not gonna be like, oh, I just
don't get a reason. It just sounds like it's a good one.
But you just said like it's just by chance. Like, oh,
Yeah, it's like, but
I met a girl at the gas station, right?
Opportunity is there, the access. So that's my reason, because it sets an opportunity, and it just seems right for that moment. I think when we are planning in it, ahead, seeing themselves and kind of emotionally seeing themselves with someone else, that's something different, man. I mean, it's cheating, but it's a different, like, I don't think a guy is cheating with trying to find a replacement, if that makes any sense. I think that the opportunity is there, but am I trying to replace what I got? But do I want to test the market, whether, hey, do I still got it? I think with women, it's just the catering too, because sometimes, I mean, with guys, they treat they side chick better than who they got. I'm gonna tell you all that you want to hear. I'm gonna say, come on. I'm sure not you, Twin. That good morning, Queen. How you doing, sunshine? How's your day? You want me to eat you some lunch? All that shit. It feels good. It feels good.
Nobody doing all that. I'm not checking on you. I don't want to see you.
That sounds so stupid. I ain't checking on you.
And next, read the messages.
Yo, you're a moment.
I feel like
you are not to be nurtured. You are there for a moment. And that is the end of the conversation. And as a matter of fact, yo, I might change my phone number right after. I don't want to kick it. I don't want to talk.
It's hard to change your number, like, especially if you had that number for a long time. You don't want to change your number every time.
Like, you ain't even got
right. Why she got your number? That's what I was gonna say. But you slipping, Anton. She shouldn't even have your number. That's the problem.
There's a question right here. It says, what if you fall in love with the side chick?
They do. They do.
You a sucker. That's what you are.
Anton, they fall in love with the side chick all the time. That's why it's dangerous.
And you a sucker. And that's what any dude falling in love, that means you emotionally connected. That means you've been spending time. That means that you really nurturing a relationship. Fam, if you don't get on out of here with that.
But people do it. I mean, think about back in the day, folks used to set up whole separate families. They would leave their family and set up shop with another family.
Those are the suckers, man.
I told you it was. I know
did that back in the day. That was
they was suckers back then. They just carrying on a tradition now.
I told you it's two people I know that married their side chick. Married her.
Hey, Nick, before you came back, the question on the table also was, does upbringing of the man and the woman affect them when it comes to cheating?
Oh yeah.
We're a product of our environment. So yeah, we learn behaviors based on our environment. Now the thing is, I think that we always kind of look at it from the lens of like my mother and father. Man, it's your environment. it's not about your mother and father. You may see your aunt, your uncle, you see it on TV. Like, all that's part of your environment. Like, think about social media is right now part of folks' current environment. So the thing is, it's cool to cheat. That's the way that like it's portrayed. So yeah, it's learned. It definitely is. But that's where it goes back to choice. A level of maturity of understanding choice. Like, okay, I can say, hey, my pops cheated, right? So then at that moment, do I then say like, well, because my pops cheated, then I'm gonna cheat because that's what we do. Or it's like, well, because my pops cheated, I'm not gonna cheat. You know, so it's just it to me, I like to talk through it, but really just to simplify it, yeah, it's learned behavior. And at that moment, you have the choice of whether you want to choose that path or not, to cheat or not to cheat.
Is it inevitable though? Like, do you know 50-year marriages, 20-year marriages where infidelity has just not happened?
Yep. I know a bunch of them that it hasn't happened.
Yeah. So is it something that people can look forward to as, hey, you know, it's not necessarily going to happen to you just because this is, you know?
I don't know. I would feel like almost I would need to know enough people that's been married to see whether it was any infidelities.
You also, don't know a lot of married people?
I said do not.
You don't? No, I'm asking. You don't?
No, not like that.
Wow.
I mean, I'm talking about family and friends. Like I'm not just talking about my peer group. Like low key, I remember my aunt, you know, rest in peace, Aunt Ella. Like I remember she came to my wedding. She like, baby, you know, this is like the third wedding I ever been to, you know, and she was my old head. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, it's just people. I still believe people don't get married like that. Like that. Like, you know, yeah, you want to inspire to get married. Cheating happens, but you know what? Drugs happen, cheating happens, I lost my job happens. So going back to the vows and everything else that is supposed to be sacred about the union, hey, then what do? I think that's the moment where you figure out, hey, how real is your relationship? Are y'all gonna push through, or is like I'm out? Now the thing is, is it inevitable? It's up to them two people or whether they make the commitment not to cheat, man. And if it happens, then what? That's the part that like you don't know. You could sit up here and act like you know how you're going to handle a situation until it happens to you. And then it's like, that's the test right there between you and that person on what happens then. Because then you got cheat. If you cheated, how did you find out? Did you tell the person like, hey, yeah, you know, I just want to let you know? Or it's like, oh, shit,
I don't care.
You check my iPhone? Also, you know, it's different things, man. So cheating, it happens. I'm not saying that it's like 100%. You know, I don't want to mislead nobody by saying like, well, that's why I don't get married. It's up to them two people in their union and how real it is. Because it's kind of the older you get and the longer you with somebody, it's like it's a respect thing too. And it's like, do you have enough respect to not cheat anymore?
I guess you never know what's going on in people's marriages and their relationships, but you know, you just see some relationships where they just work so well together and they've been together for years and years and years. And you just hope that, you know, whatever it is, they were able to get through it. Like my uncle and auntie have been married 47 years. You know, I would never want to envision that one of them ever did anything like that.
Yeah,
so
but that's the idea like that we want to fall in love with. That's what we
That's right. Exactly.
Because I'm gonna bring it back, Anton. Like, hey, folks be setting traps. And I know, Tawana, you ain't want to hear that, but it's a different aspect. It's another layer. It's another lane that we're talking about. That folks are setting traps that, as far as access and opportunity. We just said that. For men, access and opportunity. So I'm going to set a trap to give you access to me to cheat.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're talking about the women or people set traps for them. That's why I don't trust no. That's why I don't trust no heifers around my man. Like,
yeah, I guess we can. No
stay back. Stay back.
We're all human beings. We're born in sin. We're born in sin.
Listen, you can't watch.
I guess we can. I guess we can agree this and say this, that men and women do cheat, for some things are the same and some things are not the same.
Women cheat too.
Yeah, women do cheat
all day.
Women cheat back.
They're trying to throw it out there.